On today's Retro Spot, we're going to be looking at the Playmates Earthworm Gym Series figures. Today we're going to be looking at Bob and number 4. This is the third and final villain included in the Earthworm Gym figures. You can see Send Bob Flying with number 4's Super Spring Gizmo launching arm. This is Bob and number 4, the most fiendish goldfish to ever bite bait, and his ever faithful catatonic cat servant. On the back of the package, all the figures in this series of Playmates figures are Earthworm Jim with Snot. We got Princess What's-Her-Name with Runt Zerb Guard. We've got Monstrous Peter Puppy and Peter Puppy, one of the 2 packs. We've got Earthworm Jim in Special Deep Sea Mission Suit with Special Mission Snot. We've got Battle Damaged Earthworm Jim with Battle Damaged Snot, which I guess those 2 could also be considered 2 packs. And the not-so-good guys, we've got Psycrow with Major Mucus, Henchrat and Evil the Cat, and Bob and number 4. What I like about all of the figures, and I've said this already with the other reviews that I've done, is I like the fact that Playmates, by giving us an accessory of a secondary character, in essence, even though you're only getting 3 figures, you're actually getting 6. So, I mean, it's neat, it's clever, and, you know, the figures are too small to really have been packaged on their own. It says Bob and number 4's Wacky Worm Wrecking Weapons and Accessories. Bob, fact, living in a fishbowl, not as bad as living in a toilet bowl. Well, I've never lived in either, but I would imagine that would be right. The snip and segment for Bob and number 4 says Bob, the most fiendish killer goldfish to ever bite bait, and his ever faithful catatonic cat servant. Bob and number 4's Wacky Worm Wrecking Weapons and Accessories, Extra Crispy Worm Searing Gun, and Wicked Worm Slicing Sword. Hello, air suckers. It is I, Bob, the killer goldfish. Welcome to my watery world of La Planeta de Aqua. Wipe your feet, please. Here I am, master of all and slave to no one. It is here that I develop my plans of universal conquest and waterproof fish food. If you look to your left, you will see some of my more ingenious inventions, among them my famous Robo-Squid, Cyber Tuna, and Techno Sturgeon. To my right is my new and improved catatonic cat servant number 4. I have made vast improvements over my previous models, number 2 and number 3. Please don't ask me about number 1. It's a sad story. Now pay close attention to number 4's arms, and you'll see that he is fitted with a Super Spring Gizmo launching arm, a very effective weapon in the fight against goodness and all those who dare to challenge the ways of villainy. I am, of course, speaking of that worm boy, those do-gooders. I have developed my extra crispy worm searing gun. One squeeze of the trigger and voila, one tasty, toasted worm snack. But that is not all I have here in my goodness grinding arsenal of mechanical machinery. Please walk this way. Behold the pride of my ancestors, the wicked worm slicing sword. One slice and Earthworm Jim will wiggle no more. This concludes the tour of La Planeta de Agua. Remember, up with villainy and down with daring do-gooders. Have a perfectly evil day and beware of the falling cow. Woof! There's that cow again, eh? Down below also it shows you the gimmick as to how to operate it, which we'll get into as we open the figure. Speaking of opening figures, let's not wait any longer, eh? Let's get this opened up. I'm sure all you guys want to see Bob and number 4, so let's do that. Let's get this opened up. We'll get a better look at the figures. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. All right, we've opened up the package. Let's get a better look at Bob and number 4. Let's first have a look at Bob. It's kind of funny the way they've No, you can't actually open it. I was going to say it's very funny the way they've made the goldfish, that they've actually put two pegs in to keep the goldfish in place, or Bob in place. It kind of ends up looking like he is a bit of a Frankenstein, with the little things on the sides there. Kind of find that funny. But no, it doesn't look like you can open it. It is definitely a single piece. Nice detailing though on Bob. He doesn't look happy though. He definitely is not a happy goldfish. But again, it's neat that you would get two characters for the villains. You get two bad guys per package. So you get both Bob, which could not really be on his own unless you gave him like one of his inventions. And then of course you've got number 4 here. We'll get right into the gimmick before we get to anything else. You'll see that there's a little hole on the bottom of the fish tank. And if we go to number 4 here, we lift up his arm. Oh, lo and behold, you'll see a little peg. Well, it's very easy. I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together. What you'll do is lift the arm completely up, and it will actually lock into place. There's a button on the back, and we'll take poor Bob. I don't know why Bob would want to do this. Have himself thrown. But what we do is we put Bob into number 4's hand. Press the little button on the back, and he throws Bob. I don't even think you saw that because poor number 4 was in the way. So we'll do it again. We'll put Bob into place. And it's really weird because he just fell out there. It's really weird because the way you hold, the way you have Bob hold him, there we go. That makes a little more sense. He keeps falling out though. All right, one more time. One more time. All right, so we're going to put Bob in his hand. There we go. That's what we wanted. And press the little button. There we go. And he throws Bob. Again, I don't know why that Bob would think this is a good idea. If I lived in a fish tank, I don't know if I'd want somebody throwing me. But that serves as his gimmick. It's all right. I mean, it's, if they have to put a gimmick in, it's not too bad. But there you have Bob. We'll put him down for a second, and we'll look at number 4. I like how he's got little sandals. He's wearing sandals. Detailing's pretty cool on him. He's got the gold. He's got the blue with the gray, like that kind of bluish gray. And while you really can't do too much with this one arm, I mean, you can lock it into place if you really want, but then, I don't know. I suppose if you wanted to, you could probably put him on display with Bob actually in his hand. Or you could probably have him holding it, kind of like so. Or you can actually just have him standing or sitting in front of number 4. In the way of Bob's or number 4's articulation, you can swivel the head back and forth. You can move the one arm, the other one you can't. No waist articulation, but you can move the legs back and forth. Again, pre-sculpted, so there's only so many ways you can actually have him posed. Kind of have to have one leg back, one leg slightly forward. And you have him posed in such a way there. His accessories also include his sword, which you can have him hold. Which you can have him hold. Kind of hard because the one finger, there we go. The one finger was too closed that you couldn't get the sword in there. So there's the sword. And he also comes with his gun. One of the only few characters, the villains at least, that actually don't have a missile-firing gun. It's actually just a Gatling gun, from the looks of it. But that's really all he does. Unfortunately, between the sword and the gun, you can only have one hand holding it. I would be more inclined to have him actually holding just the sword. Again, the gun is probably a little too big, but it's there if you wish. And there you have number 4 and Bob. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's my favorite of the villains, the not so good guys. I probably still like Psychro the most. But this guy's pretty neat. He is definitely neat. If you can find him, I don't know if you can find him anywhere other than probably eBay. But the Earthworm Jim figures are really cool. The villains are really cool and very unique. They're all unique from one another. The number 4 as well as Bob, I'd probably give a 5-2. Again, not one of my favorites, but pretty neat figure nonetheless. That concludes a retro spot. Today we were looking at the Playmates Earthworm Jim figures. And today we were looking at Bob in his fish tank. And we were looking at number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more toy spots to come. And I'll see you guys next time.